17 years ago, I was engaged to a woman and became pregnant. Now, it's important to understand that I never wanted to have children, which I'd been upfront and honest about with my fiancée then. She told me that she understood and felt the same way. We both always used protection and agreed to terminate in case of an accident. When she got pregnant, however, she refused to keep her word, and I soon learned that her promises were far less genuine than what she led me to believe. She'd stopped taking birth control and purposely sabotaged our protection. Apparently, she believed I'd change my mind if it actually happened. Still, instead, I immediately broke things off, and 6 months later I moved from the East Coast to a new job on the West Coast. As I said, that was 17 years ago, and for the last 17 years I've had absolutely no contact with her daughter and minimal contact with my ex. I send my child support payments every month, but I have had no interest in ever meeting her. I even requested my ex to not give her any information regarding me or how to contact me. My ex did send me a few pictures of her when she was young, but she stopped after I told her I didn't want them. Well, she didn't keep her word again because 2 months ago, I received an actual handwritten letter from her daughter addressed, "Hi Dad." When I read that, I honestly felt sick to my stomach. I immediately threw the letter away, not even bothering to read the rest of it. I never replied or responded to it. Well, turns out the letter was her heartfelt request to attend her high school graduation. She described in detail how much it would mean to her and told me that she's always been into programming and would be attending one of the top computer science programs in the country for college. I work as a software engineer, or at least I did before I moved up in my company, so apparently her mother had told her how she must have gotten her talent with computers from me. As I said, I never read the letter, so I didn't know any of this beforehand, but I found the letter in my home office wastebasket and have read it now. Since I didn't read the letter initially, I didn't know about the graduation and obviously didn't attend. My ex called me the day of the ceremony and told me I'd broken my daughter's heart by not attending, but I obviously had no idea what she was talking about. I told her as much and she called me a deadbeat and an idiot before hanging up. I got annoyed and vented to one of my friends about the situation, and they said they kind of agreed with my ex. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. You made it clear you wanted to be child-free. She took that away from you. You made it clear you wanted no contact with this child she attempted to force on you. She knowingly violated that boundary. Heck, she was just as wrong for telling your kid anything about you. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. You can't force an unwilling parent to have a relationship with a child they didn't want. Yeah, I feel for the young woman, but OP washed his hands and made his views clear on this years ago. The mom sounds like a piece of work, lying to OP to try to baby trap him and possibly telling her daughter stories of her deadbeat dad for years. You owe her nothing. I disagree, you were an idiot to the girl. None of this is her fault, and honestly, you should have anticipated this. She's been fed whatever story her mother told her and reached out in the hopes he will be her dad in some way, and her dad totally rejects her. You're not an idiot for not attending, there's no reason to see her mother, but you could have read the letter and written back to decline and explain yourself. Your trauma doesn't give you the right to inflict trauma on this girl with no explanation. You can't control what story she gets fed, but the bare kindness to write a letter to explain why you haven't been there is pretty basic. The girl did not ask to exist and deserves to know how you were victimized so she understands you are not rejecting her in herself so much as avoiding someone who lied and violated you to create her. It won't heal her, but it may lessen the sting that your existence causes, and that's all you can do. But you should have and still should do it. So my daughter recently had a birthday pre-tween, and for our family part she asked for a peanut butter and chocolate cake. I agreed. I told my sister not to bring my nephew, toddler, because of his allergy. It's so bad that he can't even be near or breathe in peanut butter particles. She asked if I would change the cake to just chocolate so that my nephew could come. I said no, that it was my daughter's cake and she could have peanut butter if she wanted. She called me unreasonable because my daughter could have had peanut butter cake with her friend party. She didn't have cake with her friend, she just had pizza. She said my daughter must learn to compromise for family's sake. I told her that I would talk to my daughter but not expect a young child to choose her baby cousin over her favourite cake. My conversation with my daughter played out just like I predicted, and when I told my sister, she called my daughter selfish and ungrateful. She said that I'm a bad parent because I taught her to hate nephew. She threatened that if my nephew wasn't welcome, neither she nor her husband would come either. I said that was fine because she wasn't welcome either. I then reached out to my brother-in-law to let him know what was going on and to tell him he was still welcome if he wanted to come. He thanked me but said he would stay home to support my sister. Her party came and went, and my sister is still being very distant and cold. This has me wondering if I was too harsh to her and my nephew, or too soft on my daughter. Am I the idiot? This is a hard one. Since your nephew is so allergic, you have to really think about it before having the kid around. Can you order some Chinese takeout or even fried food? What have you made in the past day that might still be in the air? Do you have peanuts in something? He is also a toddler, so you can't just have a party outside and be like, don't eat that. I'm saying not the idiot, as you told them ahead and told them you couldn't accommodate and wouldn't force your daughter to accommodate. The hard part of having strong allergies is you don't get to do everything. It is what it is. If anyone is teaching Opie's daughter to hate her cousin, it's the sister. Forcing a young kid to give up their favourite cake on their birthday is an excellent way to sow resentment toward the person they're doing it for. I was the kid that always had to compromise. I would ask for something I liked and be forced to do something else because another family member doesn't like that, especially on my birthday. Now as an adult, when someone asks me what my favourite of anything is or what I want, I literally don't know. I was never allowed to have favourites. I always had to people please everyone else, and I rarely ever speak up about what I want and just defer to others to pick everything. And I don't like celebrating or acknowledging my birthday because it's been drilled into my psyche that I'm not special and no one cares about my special day. You aren't teaching your kid narcissism or spoiling her by allowing her to pick something she likes over a family member, one time on her birthday. I thank you for taking your daughter's side and letting her make choices for her own birthday. I, 25 female, recently started dating my girlfriend, Alexandra, 29, a long-time acquaintance at work. We've been together for only 6 months, but I've truly never been happier. I had to go out with my cousin and asked Alex if she wanted to join me. She happily did. I'm originally Greek, so is my cousin. Sometimes we'd slide in a few words. Somewhere in the conversation, Alex started joining in. It was a moment of shock for me because she never mentioned she spoke Greek before. I was saying pretty basic things with my cousin then, but she'd heard me speak on the phone, cursed to myself, and never mentioned she spoke it. I didn't say anything then, but once I got to my place with Alex, I called her out on it. She said she speaks multiple languages as a hobby, which was not a big deal. I made her count. There were 13 that she was fluent in. My point was, as my girlfriend, she should have told me earlier about this, and she heard my conversations around the house and never commented on them. They were mostly about my mom's difficult health situation, and she doesn't want that to be shared. She doesn't even tell my brother. I know because we have a special mother-daughter relationship. Edit, I only ever talked to my mom in Greek in front of Alexandra, mostly in the car while we were both in it. I also explained to her that it's something about her health that she's not comfortable with me sharing. Also, my mom can't speak English. Am I the idiot? Sister, I'm a Greek woman, and I must tell you, if I found out that my foreign partner spoke Greek, I'd be the happiest person in the world. The only reason you'd be unhappy about this is if you wanted a free pass to lie to her face about conversations you're having around her, or just the ability to crap talk about her to your friends and relatives without her understanding. You are the idiot because it seems that you're angry that you can no longer crap talk around her, rather than that you didn't know about this hobby of hers. How did you have a girlfriend for 6 months and not know enough about her hobbies to know she spoke 13 languages fluently? Did you ever ask her if she spoke another language? It seems super suspicious that you get triggered by this. Are you trying to hide things from her and worry she'll find out? Also, never assume that people can't understand you while speaking in front of them, whatever language you use. That's a really naive way to go about life. My son Daniel, 28, has been married to Kathy, 28, for 4 years now, and they have 2 children. I have a younger daughter, Leah, 25, who is a single mom to Travis, pre-tween. Travis is autistic and has a lot of sensory issues. He receives therapies, but it's still a struggle. Everyone knows about his triggers and what we do to avoid them. While I've tried to be welcoming of Kathy, she's always been a little cold. I tried to give her the benefit of the doubt as we are a very loud, extroverted family and she's introverted. She has yet to make an effort to get to know us, despite our numerous attempts. Daniel has told us that her family is a lot different and isn't as warm, so we accept her personality. The only issue is that she's very cold to Travis. We're all firm with him and have boundaries, but Kathy finds his triggers ridiculous. Important info, Leah and Travis live with my husband and me. Every year at Christmas we have a few close relatives over and host a Yankee swap with gag gifts. Last year my sister-in-law was showing me her contribution. It was one of those singing Santas. Travis had seen this very one at the drugstore and had a meltdown over it. I said it would be okay, I'd just make sure Travis didn't pick that gift and we'd tell whoever did pick it to please not press play. One person opened it. Travis saw it and instantly got on edge, but the person promised they wouldn't play it and he calmed down. When it was Kathy's turn, she stole it. If you've never done a swap before, the point of the game is you can either pick a new gift or steal someone else's if you like it better. She was sitting next to Travis at the time and pressed play. He had a meltdown and had to be brought out of the room. Kathy was laughing. I took her out of the room and asked her why she'd do that. She said it was just a joke and she thought we were exaggerating. She then accused us of purposefully making Travis scared of things. We have no reason for doing this. Trust me, for his mental health, we wish these things didn't trigger him, but they do. I asked why it was so hard for her to accommodate her nephew. That's when she said that Travis soaks up all the attention and it's not fair that Leah had a kid before them. She and Daniel then promptly left. While Daniel has apologized on behalf of Kathy, she has refused to do so. We've tried holding family meetings, but she won't attend. Leah has seen Daniel and his kids since, but won't see Kathy. After a few months of back and forth with Kathy making it clear she won't apologize, my husband and I decided Kathy is not welcome in our home until she does and is ready to treat Travis right. We'll still see them, but not in our home. Kathy and Daniel have found this unfair. They refuse to meet up for Mother's Day and won't come to Father's Day brunch, which is their choice, but they've made it clear they only made it because we've excluded Kathy from events in our home. Am I the idiot? Edit, Leah got pregnant young. It wasn't planned. She and the father married after the fact, but he sadly passed when Travis was 2. That's when Leah moved back in with my husband and I. When Leah got pregnant. Kathy and Daniel were dating then with serious plans to marry. Kathy said she was a little disappointed that they wouldn't be the ones to give us our first grandchild as they were older, but we thought she got over it. Not the idiot. When it was Kathy's turn, she stole it and pressed play. This is the crucial point for me. She did this deliberately even though she knew not to. Her lack of remorse afterwards suggests that she would do something equally unpleasant again. Her behavior as an adult baffles me. I have a sister-in-law like this. For some reason, she always has to fight with my son. She's been this way since he was a toddler. He might be playing or watching TV, and she'll just come up and grab his toys away or tell him how dumb his TV show is. She's in her 30s, by the way. We only see her once or twice a year because of this. Might I suggest never seeing her again? Your kids don't deserve to be bullied by an adult even once a year. OP, Leah and Travis have been through enough. Purposely triggering an autistic kid because you're jealous of the attention he's getting is a 100% idiot move, and you should definitely hold firm on getting an apology directly from her to you and your daughter and grandson before she's allowed back. I'm sorry that this means you'll have a strained relationship with your son, but this is Kathy's fault. Kathy sounds like a child. It's not fair Leah had a kid first. What in the actual heck? She's absolutely jealous of Leah because she had the first grandbaby and she's still not over it. Kathy needs counselling, and your son likely needs it too, so he can understand why he'd defend Kathy. We recently moved in with my in-laws because I'm 31 weeks pregnant with our first child and I feel like I need my mother-in-law for support since I've been pretty terrified the entire 3rd trimester and my parents don't live nearby. My husband didn't want to move in with them, and the only reason he did was that I told him I would go without him and he could stay in our home alone until after the baby was born. His parents are great and very close, so that's not why he didn't want to temporarily move in with them. We thought about it a lot before we moved. We're still arguing about it now because he thinks it wasn't necessary. I'm stressing over nothing, which maybe I am, but that doesn't magically make the stress disappear. He said multiple times that I forced him to move here, but he could have stayed at our house like I said. I can't expect my mother-in-law to visit every day, and I feel better being in a house with other people around. My husband does sometimes work from home, but is usually holed up in his office, so it's like he's not here anyway, so this is better for me. My in-laws are more than happy to have us here, but my husband is still sulking and gives me an annoyed look whenever his parents say something about his habits that he doesn't like. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. Did you consider that there may be a reason your husband doesn't want to live with his mother? Also, dropping "do this or I'm leaving" in a marriage is unhealthy. Not only "do this or I'm leaving," but it's also "do this or I'm leaving with your unborn child and won't be back until after their birth." What a crappy ultimatum. Understandable that you want support, but to upheave the entire household and move in with the in-laws just because... Sorry, but that is the nuclear option in marriage. What do you do if he says, fine, and then you don't get his mother because you left him? Everyone around you has to change their lives because you're afraid? Of what exactly? Grow up, lady. You decided to have a child, not them. Your self-centered, entitled attitude is out of control. I talked to a therapist about anxiety, as it can, and might, only get worse from here. Your doctor must be informed that you moved into your in-laws' house because you're too scared to be alone for labour or when the baby comes. I disagree. OP is not the idiot. When people ask for help, they are the bad guy or girl. When they don't, they're also the bad guy or girl. What the heck do you people want? She said she needed or wanted help and that she'd like to stay with her mother-in-law because they would be happy to help her. Why is this a problem? If it was her own mother, would anyone blink an eye? Childbirth is a big deal. It's natural to feel some anxiety as a first-time mom. How fortunate that she has supportive in-laws and a good relationship with her mother-in-law.